Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the LTA here for some more Split 3 competition. We are into the elimination phase. We are not in the upper bracket anymore.
No,
this is the weekend where we begin to break some dreams and send some teams right on home. First up, Dig versus Disguise here in today's first elimination best of 5. I'm Captain Flowers, joined by Jatt and Kobe for this one. And fellas, I don't know what we're going to get.
So while it does mean that one team is going to be extra sad, it also means the other team will be extra happy to not be eliminated.
Zero-sum happiness.
Upside. There's just more emotions all around.
There are big stakes on this game. People keep talking about wanting legitimate rivalries. If you watched all of Waiting Room, eXyu hates Dignitas.
He really does.
He says they're in the depths of hell. He just constantly flames the org at any opportunity. Even if you're a player on that team, he just starts flaming you. DARKWINGs as well.
DARKWING is like a more mild version. He strongly dislikes them, but hate is a strong word.
Correct. And then Disguised, I feel like, does have the fan favorite underdog factor because before last week, they were 3-22. But then they managed to beat Dig, which then allowed them to pick Dig in this round. So there's a lot going on in what would seem like a silly matchup.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and get into that matchup here as we're going to be getting into the Game 1 draft. We've got Vi and Aurora banned out by Disguised here on the blue side. Over on red, it's Azir and Pantheon banned out by Dignitas. I feel like Varus is probably going to be number 3 because he almost always is.
So then that would leave up Talia as well as Rumble. Okay, so Rumble priority goes even higher now because they're banning Galio. So you have to decide, are you going to take the Talia and go like Talia plus Pantheon, or Pantheon's banned as well, never mind. But Talia or Yunara, there's so many power picks,
There's a lot of power picks
so
up, actually.
that's why Dignitas are trying to trade 2 for 1 here. Maybe they get double AP solo laners with a Rumble and Talia or something, because the Galio ban definitely raises the priority on that Rumble, but they want to get their AD jungler first.
Yep, and also we've heard and seen that Wukong is one of the better champions against Yunara because Yunara needs to be fairly close, and if you're going to be trying to teamfight late game, Wukong's just going to pop you up and maybe give you that chance to one-shot. So even with all those power picks, we're seeing a wide variety of things here. Early prio on Ziggs as well.
Okay, so the Ziggs locked in. That could be going to Keine, that could be going to Tomo. We know that this champion has flexibility across a couple of different roles on the Rift. The response from Disguised, they'll go ahead and lock in what is definitely their mid laner here with the Orianna, and they will take the Rumble up there in the top side, especially considering Dig drafted the powerful AD jungler early. Denying the Rumble is always going to feel good there.
Did you see that LTA record for Rumble?
What was it?
11-1.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So also, when they fixed the blue side, red side inequality for Rumble, it also was just a general buff for both Rumble and Singed. So both of them just, the power level kind of went up. And so the priority on that champ definitely has been high. But the Yorick, the answer this time around, since Dignitas themselves were the ones to ban the Galio.
So how do we feel about the Yorick into Rumble matchup? Because I know that like whenever I cast with a Zale, he's got a very strong opinions on Yorick because he likes it when the matchup's good, but not as a general pick. You guys have any particularly strong feelings into this one?
It's definitely good into Rumble. The nerfs to Yorick were armor, so it doesn't really hurt him that much at all versus the Rumble matchup. And the cage is really nice in trying to open up some opportunities to catch him, but really looking to split push and get your side lane, and mostly Rumble is looking for those big team fights, so we'll see if he's able to have that plan in full operation. Photon, I think, has been quite good for Dignitas. So.
Yeah, I think he's been really strong in lane, so I want to see what he does against what we expect to be Castle's Rumble. But at the same time, I just don't think there's anything that's truly good into Rumble. I feel like that's why he's been 11-1 in LTA. I think that's why he's been a prio pick around the world. I think that's why you're so comfortable blind picking him. So Yorick's an answer, but I don't see it as a trap card. Oh, you picked Rumble, so we get to Yorick.
It is one of my 3 favorites, though. My 3 favorites into Rumble are Galio, Ornn, and Yorick. So it is kind of one of my preferred. Like you're saying, it's not like
one of the answers.
Nothing is gonna like hard counter him and make him useless. To your point, that's why Rumble gets early picked quite a lot.
Plus, the Galio is already banned out, and you have Ziggs to do all your wave clear duty, so that means you feel more comfortable locking in something like a split pusher here with the Yorick. But hey, Yeah, it looks like we're going to get Tomo Ziggs because that Yone locked in for the 4th pick here for Dignitas. I'm expecting him to be in the mid lane, of course.
Absolutely. This composition looks a little bit hard to execute for Dignitas. I feel like they have high standards with what they're currently picking right here. And I don't feel like they've had the execution to pull that off, so I'm currently favoring DSG's simplicity.
Well, DSG are going to round out the comp. They've got some engage, some front line here with the Skarner, and then they've got some pick and some roam potential there with the Bard. I do want to see huhi getting around the map, affecting the lanes nice and early here on this pick. huhi has been, in the games that he's good, very good for Disguise. He's been making some seriously clutch plays for them. In the games that he's not been in the zone, it's been pretty rough, and Bard is one of the few champions in League that you can be an active deterrent to your team's own chances of winning if you're not locked in.
And we've had a lot of supports in the LTA that have fancied themselves some good Bard players. Busio definitely holds the crown at the moment for sure. But it seems like everybody's trying to get on that train. I do like the last couple of picks, by the way, from DSG, because the Skarner here does have a lot of value since both solo laners for Dignitas are melee. There's a lot of melee on that team, in fact, and so the Skarner should have pretty high value. And the AoE and the team fight here from DSG do feel pretty straightforward for them to execute on. So I think they have set themselves up pretty nicely here in game number 1 versus Dignitas, and they did win the previous series, so maybe a little bit of momentum and confidence still riding high for them.
They got to pick their opponent here. I like the Skarner as the only front line because it can still be helped by the Orianna. So as long as eXyu doesn't fall too far behind and become paper for the Yorick and the Yone, they should be in a pretty good spot. I feel like Dig needs to play this lane phase very well to have a strong chance of winning.
Well, we'll see if Dignitas can make that happen. They've got a jungler that wants to traditionally farm till level 6, which can then make the pressure on the lanes feel that much more suffocating if you do start to fall behind. Now, Wukong's not getting to play his plan either. He's got to move in and try to help people. So Dignitas needs to have some strong early stances here in the lanes. Worth pointing out, both of our supports do have Summoner Spellbook this time around, so we'll see what type of clutch change-ups we can get out of that as the game moves forward. DARKWING's also with the Phase Rush or in the Orianna for the extra bit of move speed and outplayability once we get into these team fights. There are going to be quite a few things that put down slows when you think of Yorick Mist, when you think of Ziggs minefields and Riptides from Nautilus. So Phase Rush can definitely give a lot of value there.
Yeah, it really can. I also want to announce to the fans that we have some new technology today.
Oh yeah.
I want to see this in action. So we have as casters the ability to pull up graphs. So if we wanted to show currently show the gold ring. I want to see this in action, Kobe.
Jatt, we just started.
We're testing to make sure it works. Look.
Okay.
That's the game's goal.
Shaiden's got 5 extra gold.
Sheiden is
There we go. He pinged a ward. And then you can pull it down. Amazing.
Yeah, Kobe was doing that entire thing. That was 100% Kobe.
You guys are putting a lot of pressure on me.
So just so everyone knows, if there's a mistake, it is Kobe's fault. So you can't put this on production.
So that if you're going to blame me, then you also ought to give me all the rewards if it goes well. Well,
that's why we just praised you. That was good.
That was huge.
Yeah.
Is everyone still level 1, Kobe? Can you show us that? Press the level rank
Let me wait
button.
until there's a tiny bit of a difference here. So
We're just testing.
Shaiden's 2. Shaiden's 2. Here we go.
Press it.
Yeah, junglers are level 2.
Whoa.
Yeah, you can see already off to the
12%
races
the way to
here.
3. Okay, this is fun.
Okay,
I'm looking
so
forward to this.
we're figuring out the graphics. We're locking things in here as huhi and Rahel are going to take early control over this bottom lane with the push. They'll hit level 2 first among bot laners, but not junglers.
Unfortunately, Flowers, I don't have a pop-up to show the summoner spell count, but it's also dead even still.
Okay.
Ignite there also traded with barrier for Rahel in the bottom lane. And both junglers are also pathing away from bottom lane, so shouldn't be too much extra action down there.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually am a big fan of, as long as you don't get all in later, burning barrier early in lane, almost like preemptive health potions just for sustain to block some damage. So if he gets hit by a hook and they're blocking the burst damage coming through from Ziggs, then that just allows them to keep that health and push in the wave and get a nice reset.
I mean, I feel like we've been seeing that a lot especially more so recently with both barriers and heals, just kind of that idea of there's not really a world where as long as I don't misplay that I'm going to be threatened before the 3-minute cooldown is back anyway. So screw it. Why not just cast the thing, get your early advantage, potentially take tempo at level 2 that you wouldn't have otherwise been able to secure. And I like the fact that players are willing to use that more aggressively that way. As early on, DARKWINGs, of course, is going to have the advantage of being a ranged champion against the Yone. But once Yone hits full build of Vamp Scepter and Berserker's Greaves, of course, things get a little bit more scary for the Orianna.
Yeah, as we look down the line, the difference in solo laners is going to be most apparent in side lanes. Dignitas, of course, with the ones that we mentioned from Champ Select, are looking at possibility of split push later. Both Yone and Yorick can be pretty good in the side lanes, whereas the DSG ones want to team fight mainly and group up, but gonna have to get there with a decent amount of money to be able to do that. Looks like mid lane prowl early on is gonna result in eXyu moving on down here to get double scuttles for himself on the Skarner.
They actually have 3 lanes of prio, which is sometimes too much, but if you're the team that has no lanes of prio, can feel unplayable. Because if you're putting yourself in Sheiden shoes, you're saying, okay, well, the Yunara Bard and the Orianna are pushing, let me path top lane. Wait, the Rumble's pushing. I have no way to get Crab unless he's able to arrive at the opposite Crab that eXyu does, but since he didn't, it's immediate double Crab, because it's not like you can go to a lane that has prio. So eXyu, essentially, I'd say a camp and a half up, because he's going to be a little late to his respawn of Krugs, whereas Shaiden's already taking his grumpy respawn.
I mean, we're all junglers here, fellas. There's nothing worse than getting double crabbed early on right at the beginning of the game. It's not as bad as it used to be, but it's still
I have experienced worse, Flowers, and that's when you die.
Oh, you try to take one of the 2 crabs, he gets them anyway, and
when your opponents actually have the lane prio, and you still go try and get one of those crabs in order to not get double crabbed, and you die for it.
Then that's like you're the 3rd crab. It's just a whole crab dinner for your opponent. Yeah, especially when if you're playing Skarner, you are the mega crab. They just farm you up. But we'll see. What are we going to get here out of Mr. Sheiden on the Wukong? Just about to hit level 5. Again, traditionally, we want to see this champion power farm to 6 to have the Cyclone for the playmaking. eXyu going to show up here in mid, of course, without Impale available to cast. As soon as Ishtal's impact doesn't make impact, well, you're just kind of going to walk away, get a little bit of poke there.
You can throw a rock at him, though.
Yeah, you get 100 damage.
Hit a W.
Sure, why not?
Doing some eye contact with Sheiden while DARKWINGs is getting free poking onto Keine. I mean, he's going to force him for a reset, and Keine already has no TP, so the fact that they're trying to make him reset so he can't sustain with his Vamp Scepter and Doran's shield, they're really just slowly getting decent advantages in lane. And if I'm putting myself in Sheiden's shoes, there's not many places to go. The gank assist from an early game Yone or Yorick is pretty pitiful, and the bot lane has been pushed in that has the one gankable assistance with Nautilus, so he's not happy.
And the thing about the Yorick, though, is I always do like champions who can create terrain much more into immobile enemy teams just because of the fact that it's more likely to force out a flash or something super valuable to try to save them. Rumble can't dash, Orianna can't dash. The only time that Yunara can dash is if her ultimate is active. So as this game goes on, obviously Photon wants to live in the side lanes as opposed to being a team fighter, but there is still value that Yorick will be able to contribute in these skirmishes, as Tomo's got to be careful jumping away now. Flashes to avoid follow-up CC as eXyu, Huhi, and Rahel try to make the move here for the 3v2, but don't quite get anything more than the summoner.
Yeah, free flash in a sense, because they should have been pretty obvious that both Yunara and Bard were going to be coming up to the top lane. They weren't able to match with the jungler, so he had to back away.
Ooh,
good poke.
Yeah, Huhi just taking a big Nautilus anchor to the face right there. Not where he wanted to be. Reminder, next week is Super Week, so we're going to be live on Friday here at the end of August alongside our normal shows on Saturday and Sunday, because after we eliminate our first 2 teams this weekend, next weekend we've got all kinds of stuff to do. We've still got to get some work done in the upper bracket, more work to do in the lower bracket, all sorts of things. But in this game, we still got a lot to do here as well. Since the first dragon is alive, nobody's putting early priority on him just yet. Meanwhile, the grubs spawning in 45 seconds now means there might just be a handshake for these objectives.
And the grubs have a pretty high value for Dig specifically. Again, because they've got split pushing solo laners here, and they've got a Ziggs. So this team really wants to destroy towers. Grubs, as you know, best objective for that.
Yes, sir.
Nice little chunk up here onto Huhi again, preemptively before the spawn of that objective. could mean that they just go straight for it. Sheiden here, of course, level 6 on the Wukong is when you are much, much happier. He's got flash, he's got ult. His Yone has ult, so you are very capable in that fight.
Pretty nice power spike here for Dignitas. Once the Lost Chapter was completed on Ziggs, he's been able to poke a lot more. That's given them prio in the top lane. I'd say also eXyu used a little bit of extra time on that lane swap, so Sheiden was able to catch up in experience, and they might be looking for a play right before these grubs.
Okay, let's see if eXyu walks any closer. Dredgeline not going to find the immediate target just yet. Nice play from eXyu there, but it does end up getting canceled out as he wanted to try to go for the Impale, maybe lock up Isles underneath the tier 1 turret. So a couple of resources spent as the Skarner ulti is no longer up for use. But we will see no flash on Isles as well. There is still, though, that Mega Inferno Bomb, the Fate Seal, the Cyclone, the massive Dignitas Wombo combo could really be a difference maker here when the fight as a TP is coming in, but a lot of damage onto Sheiden here at the very start. Goes back in for the Cyclone, looking for Rahel, but he ain't gonna find him. Keine now forced to snap back in the Soul Unbound. Sheiden's gonna be first to die, and it's first blood over to eXyu. DSG, they might not have had the AoE potential that Dignitas did, but they did not need it.
Man.
And now Castle's coming in to clean up the rest of the mess. Keine tries to get away, but he burns all the way down. Castle's taking that kill, and DARKWING is ready to fly. Isles will be the next one to drop. Just a little bit more damage will get it done. Command attack seals the deal. Feet of Warfare, 3 for nothing. 9 minutes in with all 3 grubs going disguised way.
This is so big for DSG. Not only do they deny the grubs to the split push team, but they also get 3 kills to set up the Feats Flowers. Look how much damage Sheiden and Keine take before the teleport even comes in from the Nautilus. And all it costs them is Rahel's flash. Rahel flashes the engage from the Sheiden Keine combo, and they absolutely destroy Dignitas here. DSG, I think this is the best possible thing to happen for this comp that is very good 5-on-5 team fighting. The game plan for them now is very easy. Go to your objectives, you know, win your 5-on-5s, keep snowballing these fights. And the split push for Dignitas, I think, is going to be very far in the future. It's going to be very hard for them to pull off now and really get enough money to make that feasible.
And we were talking about bad feelings as the jungler earlier on. How about being a level 6 jungler, casting your Cyclone for a neutral objective fight and getting nothing but 3 deaths on your own team for it?
He knocked us some maybe little grub mites or something maybe in there.
Okay, he blended a couple of grubbies.
Yeah, like 1 gold for each of those little mites.
Okay, so 20 gold for some grubbies? Not exactly the best result for your Cyclone here.
And 2,000 gold is the advantage now for DSG. They have advantages in every single position. And they're going to kill the wife, too!
Oh, no!
Come on, man.
Yorick's about to be maidenless. One more shot will do it. Okay, that hurts really bad because that cooldown, especially early on, is so long, and not having the maiden is a huge part of your power budget. So Photon definitely not enjoying the state of the side lane after losing that one. Keine jumps in after Castle here going for the Q3, but he won't find the knockup. Castle staying safe despite the fact that Sheiden's around.
Yeah, and we also talked about earlier how Dignitas needs to play really clean to have this team composition work. They have kind of 3 physical damage dealers up top lane, so Tomo as the only magic damage dealer needs to be really precise with the way they're bursting out targets. It's going to be pretty easy for eXyu to tank up now. He's already got an early Heartsteel. There's a lot of melee champions that he's going to be able to stack that off of. Probably going to go with armor boots. He'll probably be able to get feats of strength pretty soon if they're able to keep stacking objectives. This is just all coming up DSG, Kobe.
Yeah, and I think that DSG are doing a good job because they know that the kind of only big out for Dignitas will be if Dignitas get their big engage onto Rahel when he has no flashdown. The dream, of course, for Dignitas is be able to get the Wukong and Yone engage to actually work, so then you can get the Ziggs bomb over the top and just blow up the Yunara. But since so many DSG players are kind of playing around him during the cooldown for that flash, well, here we go.
Hold on, fellas. eXyu's going in, and Photon's the target. Grabbed up at the very edge of the Impale, and now with a shockwave to follow, Photon's gone. A little bit more damage finishes him off, as now Isles is caught out by the Tempered Fate. Huhi aimed that one exactly where it needed to go, and now it's 5 kills, nothing for Disguise.
Have you ever seen DSG look so good, Flowers? They're so clean.
They're cooking.
They literally have done everything you could ask for them in this game.
It's the momentum, man, of beating Dignitas, having the confidence, the self-confidence to be able to execute.
Confidence is key, I heard
Once
that.
you beat Dignitas, you can beat Dignitas. You know it. It's confirmed. It is written as true. DSG, they understand the assignment, and the assignment is Whoop on Dignitas.
Do it again. Just keep it going. This is such an incredible early game. We need to be able to see if they can execute the rest of the game plan, though, because even though they have a large lead, they're already 0 Drakes. We're going to get this Pagoda moment right here. Beautifully done by eXyu to combo that onto Photon with the shockwave from the teleport. And then also the timing on that Bard ultimate, negating the dredge line, lets them secure the second kill of the fight.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the Skarner value here versus the 4 melees. And
Yep.
Even though the first one towards the mid lane and that little like grub preamble that we got didn't get a whole lot of value, they still won the fight afterwards. And like we said, from that point on, basically you just group for objectives as they spawn. In the game right now, the meta is so clearly outlined with the spawn of dragons and over the Rift Rail, then another dragon, and then you just keep on going kind of like clockwork
Ping-pong
there.
around, yeah. Well, we do have the turret plates about to fall here in 25 seconds. That first Drake of the game is being secured right now by eXyu. This is a very late first Drake. Honestly, doesn't normally take this long into the game, but it also does mean that the Drake timer is not going to be even remotely synced up with when the Herald spawns here just over a minute from now.
Yeah, I'd say now for Dignitas, they need to just send multiple people to one of the side lanes to try and get some money on either the Yone
hold on.
That's a dive.
Photon's in some danger here. eXyu also taken very low, and DARKWING's with a massive hit there from that turret. Huhi's coming in to see if there might be anything else, but if nothing else, he'll at least secure the exfiltration there for his team. Castle getting dove. Dredgeline starts it off. Fate Sealed follows it up. Isles tries to get away. Castle makes it a 1-for-1, and honestly, in those types of fights, you'll take that.
You really will. That's going to be the retaliation for the attempted dive on the bottom side. So Castle knew that one was coming. Being able to get one back, even though he falls, is worth it, because now his team's going to be able to pick up this first turret once DARKWING clears this wave and gets 2 more autos in.
Exactly. Still better for DSG. They get the 1-for-1. They get the first tower.
They get new shoes.
There you go.
They're locked in, man. Dignitas at least finally on the board here with a kill, but the first turret defeats his strength, going over to Disguise, 6-1 on the kill count. They've got both neutral objectives so far, and now the Herald is spawning in less than 10 seconds. I fully expect them to be ready to fight for this one, but one thing that I will say is topside river vision control right now does belong to Dignitas. You can see they've got some wards in the jungle of Disguised around the blue buff. Disguise still has to move forward and try to resecure this area.
And DARKWINGs is having a great game so far. He's 1,000 gold up on Keine. Thanks for the graphic, Kobe.
Wow, really good timing right there.
Good
and
stuff.
also 3 times as much damage. Keine hasn't been able to get involved in any of these fights, even though he's been there for the Rift Herald fight. He's just either eating an exhaust from huhi, flying in, but DARKWINGs has been there for pretty much every engagement of DSG.
And it was one of the things, as we are looking for another engage, but nobody's able to find it just quite yet. But it was one of the things that we talked about in the previous matchup from these 2 teams, because DARKWING's coming in didn't have nearly as big of hype. And so, well, here we go.
Hold on, Rahel's under pressure. Sheiden goes in, finds him with the first knockup, flashes to secure the second. Rahel with the flashback over the wall, escaping the Mega Inferno Bomb as eXyu goes in for the Impale yet again. Sheiden down to about 50 HP, the first one to die once more with the upper side river fight. Now Isles caught between huhi and DARKWINGs, and huhi with another beautiful tempered fate, setting up Tomo to get cooked by eXyu and Castle. Keine still tries to get away, but he's already lost 3 of his allies. Dignitas crumble further to dust as DSG beat him into the dirt.
I imagine when Disguised Toast was thinking about making a League of Legends team, this is what he had in mind.
Yeah.
He was like, it's going to be so fun. We're going to be killing people. We'll be up 9 kills to 1. It's just easy. They're making this game look easy.
Now is the time where you like start plugging merch and you're like, go check out my stream. You know, this is the advertising that you really need here, because it's a massive, massive stomp. Again, every single objective, they're just cleaning up here. They get the Rift Herald after getting their kills. They're the ones with getting these early towers down. The mid one is so damaged already that I don't even think they need to use the Rift Herald to get it. They'll probably just siege up to kill that one by hand, and then you can have some real high value Rift Herald side lane ones. Getting tier 2s with Rift Herald is super nice because it's a big gold cash in. Of course, if they wanted to, they could just one-shot that mid tower if they activate it towards mid. as well.
And the last time we saw these two teams play in that best of 3, it really was around the Rift Herald point where the games would start to diverge in terms of the gold lead really breaking away for one side or the other.
We're ahead of the clock on this one.
Yeah, we're a little bit ahead of time here. You can see around 15, 16 minutes, it starts to kind of branch away a little bit. We're at 17 minutes, but it's a 5,000 gold difference, which is a little extreme.
It really is. They're grouping up already. They will use the Rift Herald. Guarantee this turret right here.
One shot.
I wonder if Dig's going to try and defend this, because huhi could try to make an engage with the Bard ultimate afterwards if he wants to.
eXyu's just going to continue stepping forward a little bit here. Isles wants a dredge line, and they might have found their target this time. DSG got to be a little bit careful with Darkwing's down to 1/4 HP. Sheiden wants to go in to try to finish him off, but he won't have the damage. Dignitas, that looked like it could have been their angle. That looked like it could have been their play, but Disguised makes sure they get everybody out alive.
Understand why they did it, because they could create a numbers advantage with the teleport advantage of Photon versus Castle, but it just wasn't enough. They got decent burst onto Darkwings at first. huhi's Bard ultimate was on time. Darkwings could flash out afterwards, and they end up getting the turret without paying a price.
Really loving what we're seeing from huhi's Bard so far this game. I mentioned back in Champ Select that this can be a truly heaven or hell champion in terms of being locked in versus just kind of lollygagging about. All of these ultis have had a lot of value so far, and this pick is paying dividends.
Flowers, can we become the region of bards, the ultimate bard region?
NA being the Bard region would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I would like that.
Well,
right?
here we go. Photon under attack.
Yeah, Photon is not having a great time here in this side lane. He's about to die. The Maiden is going to go with him. huhi setting it up again, working together with Castle. 1-0-6 of the Bard for huhi. 4-1-1 for Castle's Rumble. That is still the only death for anyone on Disguise so far this game. And remember that it was in the context of he took somebody with him in a 1v3 and bought time for his team to get first turret. So it's not like it was a bad death.
It almost doesn't count.
Yeah,
almost.
It's already paid for. It's already paid for.
I'm in charge of the stats over here. I'm
Well, then
in charge
pull
of
up
the
the
stats and
stat that says
graphics.
we're
the half
right.
death
And
stat.
that one does still count. Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, the math guy said it, so I guess we're stuck now. Stats Kobe. Well, Rumble now also has his next item completed here, and that's going to make things even
stats.
more difficult.
See that one right there?
Yeah.
That means it died.
That's not a
counted it.
0.
Yeah, I
okay.
counted it.
All right.
0.5.
That is not a 0. You've got me on that
I'm
one.
bringing my receipts.
Okay. He's got this one taken care of. Rumble's death is on the expense report.
You can take a lot away from Dignitas, but you can't take that one kill away.
that one kill.
And they got 11 flowers to 9. They're not
No,
completely
I don't have a
losing.
graphic for that, Jatt.
Yeah, you don't have a flower graphic.
Yeah, man.
You're
Come
making
on.
me feel inadequate.
You're
I
doing
wasn't
great.
prepared for the flower count.
You're doing great, buddy.
So far, I'm a huge fan that production gave us this tool. It's very
also,
fun.
the flowers are always permanently counted up there.
True.
Tied at 11.
Now it's tied. So, Dig, what are they going to do here? If they can get a pick on a Darkwings, that's a big start.
That was a nice dredge line coming out there as they immediately followed up with a bunch of burst. DSG trying to buy some more time with a Bard ulti on that one, but they can't save Darkwings. That's a huge pick for Dignitas. Disguise now has to deal with the fact that Dig wants to start up this Otacon. The teleport's coming in. Castle is ready to fight. eXyu and huhi also hanging around nearby as Rahel passes up through the river, ready to join the rest of the team. The Otacon down to about 40% as the equalizer is dropped. eXyu makes his way towards the objective, but Castle's going to be the target for Dignitas. DSG just walk in and take the Otacon, though. Kaine's barely getting away at the same time as eXyu finds another kill to Photon. Dignitas, what are you doing? Keine barely hobbling away. Isles about to die. Only the Yone left alive, and huhi's on the hunt. He exhausts the Yone. Kaine's got to try to snap back to a different position. eXyu continues to chase. He hits him with the rock. Disguised will take the Otacon, take the ace, take the fight, and take no mercy on Dignitas.
It is Christmas for eXyu today. They just left the Otacon for him. They all left, and he just walked in and smote it. So the beginning of this, Darkwings is sleeping. He should have just been behind the Otacon wall in the first place to not get hooked by the Nautilus, but then it becomes a 4v5, and it's all about the timing of when DSG wants to engage. I'd say Castle's Rumble ult was really good at getting Dig to have to vacate the Otacon, but then they invest so heavily to kill Castle. It's at 3,000 health, and eXyu is literally right there. So they very easily finish the Otacon, and then are still strong enough here in the 3v5 to take them out. I think that's what Dig wasn't necessarily expecting, is that they'd end up losing this fight to what is effectively just eXyu and Rahel.
Yeah, I think what Dig was thinking, they're like, you know what? We are losing this game. Let's send it. And honestly, it was a good send to, you know, they got their pick onto Darkwings, and then, you know, they're going after the flashless rumble. I guess probably the adjustment that you make there, if you're thinking back through it, you're like, okay, well, we should still go on the flashless rumble. Everybody except Sheiden maybe, and at least stay around for a smite fight at the Otacon.
Have a shot at it, yeah.
But Skarner's always kind of dangerous there anyways. But regardless, DSG still with their large lead here. And now with the Otacon power on top of it, doesn't seem like that possible branch in the timeline for this game is going to take a turn towards Dignitas. It is still DSG paving that road straight towards the Nexus.
And Dignitas, we talked about their AoE and their wombo combo potential with like the Wukong, the Yone, the Ziggs. I really like the itemization that I'm seeing out of eXyu and huhi because we've got the Redemption on the Bard. We've got the Locket of the Iron Solari as the third item for eXyu. He knows he's not going to have super high econ going forward, so just buy cheap tank support crap because it's still going to give you value using the shield against the Mega Inferno.
That was a harsh.
That's an amazing Skarner build.
tanks.
I love this Skarner build. I want the boots upgraded with the armor boots, but for now, he's at 3 items. I mean, Shaiden's at 1.5.
That is a good point. You should always have your upgraded boots because you've got the bonus boots, and especially once you get 2 items, then you can even further upgrade.
Bonus
them.
boots.
Bonus. Castle.
Well, nice.
Expect that fine.
Okay, that was a little preemptive, but wanted to make sure they didn't lose the turret.
Yeah. The other thing that we didn't even go over because we haven't really had to.
Uh-oh, hold on.
Well,
we might not have
mind.
time just yet because they want to use the depth charge and go after Castle up here on the top side. Going to commit the Cyclone here, too. They're throwing everything in the kitchen sink over at Castle, and he's still fighting back. It will be a 1-for-1 as huhi shows up for that last little bit of damage to trade Isles for Castle. That is twice now. Dignitas has sent 3 men to kill this Rumble, and that is twice that he has taken 1 with him.
Yeah.
I mean, it still is like what you have to go for is attack side lanes. So, you know, they're sticking to the game plan, even though they're so far behind, still going for it, and Castle's just doing a good job getting 1 back.
Yeah, they get the objective bounty. According to Kobe as well, those 3 deaths do count, even if 2 of them will trade back for kills, so he's actually died 3 times. But also, if you're worried about this game being over, did anyone see IG last night? They were down 11,000 gold in a game, and they were able to win. So even top LPL teams can lose 11,000 gold leads.
So I would say, though, that one of these teams has a fed Yunara, and the enemy team is like 4 melees, and Yunara absolutely murders you when you group up with your teammates, because with the Runons and your Q active splash, it will actually splash back to the main target too.
Splash overlap,
and so Yunara versus melee heavy comps like this
I agree.
is literally the best position.
I agree. I just want to preempt any negativity that if Dignitas comes back, it's because these teams are bad. Because you wouldn't say that about the top LPL teams when they actually threw an even bigger lead than this.
Okay,
so
all right. I see what you're putting down here.
Exactly. Like, if the Shy and Rookie can come back from 11,000 gold, what can Keine and Photon do?
Holy, when you put it that way.
Okay.
The sky is the limit.
8,000 should be possible.
I think the sky is the limit.
I mean, every game of League of Legends, you got a 50% chance to win, you got a 50% chance to lose.
That's how it works. That's how matchmaking works.
That's just what it is. There's 2 possible outcomes.
Yep.
You win or you lose. Again, right now, they're going after Castle again. They really, really want to kill this Rumble, and this time they should be able to get him. Photon buries him there with the shovel. No trade back from Disguise's side. The rest of the Disguise squad is up over here at the Baron Pit. They're going for a catch onto Isles. Tempered Fate would have collided with him there, but the flash out of the way keeps the Dig support alive.
Personally, that type of 2-man collapse on the bottom lane is something that the Rookie and the Shy would also do.
Okay.
So I understand the Dig. Their coaches talked about learning from the best teams. So they were probably watching that game last night and thought, you know what, guys? If they can do it, we can too. I imagine this was part of the pep talk.
If I see the Shy in a Dignitas jersey next year, I'm going to know that this was like a premonition the entire time.
I've just heard him talking about it.
Dignitas still has a long way to go, though. They're staring down the barrel of an enemy team that's at Soul Point that still does have that 7,000 gold lead. Plus 16 on the flower petals is somewhere between like 1,000 and 1.5k extra adaptive force in stats. Like, that's not feeling great either. So they really do just have to try to continue to keep scaling, buy a little bit extra time for Photon in these split push situations. You still do have the gold aura around the objectives for all of that extra objective bounty money you can get if you can manage to set up this split push correctly, but Disguise doesn't want to let him. They're going to go straight for the Baron.
Yeah, Rahel is super rich, as you just saw, so any fight that goes into Rahel, if he doesn't get one shot, he will be able to clean them up.
Keine does have teleport, but you have to teleport pretty early versus team. DSG will burn that Baron.
Yeah, it might already be ready to go. Sheiden's on the backside of the pit here. The Baron is down to about 3,000 HP. Sheiden is still hanging around. Control ward over the wall. Sheiden wants to go in and look to steal it away. The Baron's down to 1,200. It's going to be stolen by Sheiden. You got to be kidding me. Isles is going to burn to death, though, as they try to escape. Disguise now knows they have to try to hunt these guys down because Keine is also split pushing in the bottom lane, taking the tier 2 at the same time. Yes, Dignitas might have lost their support, but they get the objective bounty on the Baron. They get the objective bounty on a tier 2 turret. They steal away the Baron. Disguised fumble the ball, and they fumble it right at the worst time.
Yeah, that is such a bad fumble, Flowers. It's not just missing a smite on Baron, because as you say, Keine didn't even have to teleport in. That was 4v5. They just go. All right, let's take a look. Can we just stop damage on this thing? It's 3k.
They actually did stop damage, but eXyu is just sitting there. Also, it's down to 2,000.
And so the Ziggs bomb actually was a nice little combo.
Yeah,
there.
everyone had thought that it was safe to peel out. That is good coordination by Sheiden and his Ziggs, trying to figure out if that was more like a rookie move or the shy move, because they're making this a very legitimately close game.
He's not letting go of this.
No, he is locked into this comparison for this first game.
So DSG is Weibo and Dig is IG. That's how I'm watching this game. I'm experiencing it just like LPL fans did last night.
Okay, so we're locked in with our rookie and the shy Dignitas analogy here. Dignitas, I mean, they have cut that gold lead down to half of what it was, right? Like, Disguise was up 8,000 something gold. It's now 3.9k. The other important part is that this Baron is still up for another 90 seconds on Dignitas' side. The Drake spawns in 20 seconds. As long as Dig gets this Drake, you stop them from getting Soul yet as well, which is another big stall.
This is absolutely huge. Rahel didn't get to be involved in that last fight.
Hold on, Keine in danger though. He's gonna get dragged back there with the Impale, and now he's in a bad spot. Dies as soon as the fight starts off. Huhi's gonna be a little bit careful as Sheiden wants the knock up, but he ain't gonna get Rahel. Sheiden and Keine both already gone. Dignitas scattered as Tomo and Isles try to get away. Rahel, nice use of the Arc of Ruin there for the long range slow. Guarantees the death of Tomo. The Dragon is not even the focus. They're going towards mid. They're all pinging the mid lane tier 3 turret. They're just going to try to force the end of the game here.
I mean, they might be able to, but it's hard to end versus Baron minions. Isles will be able to empower them for the next 40 seconds. So Photon's just going to be able to take as much gold as he wants here, as long as Isles can hold out on the other side.
Okay, let's see it. Photon trying to keep this push going down here. He will take the inhibitor, knows he cannot go any further. Photon has his teleport to be able to join back up in the base if he can, but it did get interrupted by DARKWING Shockwave. Isles doesn't have the defensibility to keep the turret standing here with the Nexus. Sheiden and Keine are not alive just yet. Keine makes his way back in now, but the Nexus is already burning down. They won't be able to defend it. Disguised. It was a bumpy ride, but they'll take game 1.